Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Squad Country with the conclusion of our event recap on the recently wrapped up Marvel Comics crossover event, Devil's Reign. So, 2 months ago, we did the. We got it to part 5, and where that left off was Mayor Wilson Fisk seemingly murdered Matt Murdock in his apartment. Or at least it was in fact, Matt's brother, Mike. But, yeah. Fisk murdered him, thinking he was Matt Murdock. And was seen doing so. So, issue 6. So, also, I would have done a video covering issue 6 last month, but with it being the only release for the crossover in April, and with the Omega one shot coming from May, I figured do the two of them at once. So yeah. Anyway, but it's during the big final battle between Fisk's Thunderbolts and our various heroes that this comes up. And in fact, Kristen, who witnessed it, tells Daredevil that Fisk murdered Matt Murdock. The fight has gone on to not just be between the Thunderbolts and the, well, for lack of a better way of putting it, Avengers. Purple Man, who is psychically controlling them, has also controlled civilians into joining the fray. But after murdering Mike Murdock, Fisk returns to Gracie I think it's City Hall, and he and his wife, Typhoid Mary, opt to leave the country. However, they're stopped by Daredevil, Elektra. Who's vowing to kill Fisk for what he's done. When Daredevil shows up, Matt Murdock. Iron Man takes down Doc Ock. Also, the escaped heroes from the heroes who've been imprisoned in Rikers Island join the fray. Darkhawk, Mr. Fantastic's Invisible Woman, Moon Knight. The one remaining child of Purple Man who to have his powers is making his way to Purple Man to deal with him himself, while Fisk and Mary take on Daredevil. But you basically have a battle of wills between Purple Man and his young son. During the fight between Daredevils and the Fisks, Daredevil gets a hold of Fisk's cane, which has the Purple Man's thumb inside the diamond on it, allowing him a degree of mind control with it. And Daredevil picks up the cane and says to Fisk that he wants Fisk to think about all the lives he's destroyed. There's a moment, it's like, oh God, then something's done. It's kind of those you monster moments. But Daredevil smashes the gem on top of Fisk's cane against his face, while Cage gives the Purple Man's son one of the psychic blockers, the one that he himself was wearing. Purple Man then tries to use Cage to kill a kid, but Cage is able to fight him off. Daredevil beats the hell out of Fisk and almost kills him with Elektra's Psy, but Elektra even says she won't stop him. But she does remind Matt that he's not an assassin. He's not a killer in the shadows. He's an idiot who decided to wear the Daredevil costume. He decided to be a symbol, and there are people watching. So what kind of symbol does he want to be? What kind of man does he want to be? But Cage is able to withstand Purple Man's control, while Purple Man's son manages to stop Purple Man. The heroes basically clean up, picking up the various villains, with Invisible Woman seemingly grabbing Electro, Miss Marvel grabbing Agony, and Spider-Man, Ben Reilly, taking down Taskmaster, and the Thing taking out Whiplash. Fisk meets with his previous backers, who suggest the possibility of running for president. And while Fisk has been arrested, his son Butch had put on the Thunderbolts uniform and picked up to be one of the arresting officers, basically to make sure that Fisk gets where he's supposed to go, to his backers. But Fisk basically tells his backers to go to hell, and yeah. He pretty much turns over, the entirety of the Fisk name to his son Butch. As Fisk leaves, he informs Butch that he basically tells Butch the story that Butch killed Fisk. He attacked the city, killed Matt Murdock. Butch killed Fisk. Rose up, took what was his, the crown. After Fisk leaves, however, Butch realizes that no, it wasn't Matt Murdock who Fisk killed. It was Mike, his best friend. A week later, Daredevil and Daredevil are talking about what they're going to do. The decision is that Matt's going to remain dead, and they're going to go after the Hand, which will likely bring them into direct conflict with the Hand's new High Slayer. You may have heard of him. He got named by the name of Frank Castle. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Fisks sail off into the sunset together, which is where that issue ends. Now, the Omega issue, the Omega issue is, in all honesty, one of the more annoying tropes in modern with comic book events, which is basically a one shot that sets up the aftermath stories. Sure, maybe it brings up a plot point from the overall story and wraps that up. Yeah, we couldn't really wrap it up in the main series, but hey, here's this one shot that wraps that up. So Fisk has disappeared. Not on. Reed Richards is looking for him on facial recognition and can't find him or Mary. Last time they were seen, they were seen to be. There was one hit in Zagreb, And Reed says, based on the travel pattern, he would suspect that that Fisk and Mary are headed to Latveria, which is why he's hidden from magicians and telepaths as well. But Reed has to cut things short with Daredevil because he has to go to Matt Murdock's funeral. Various heroes show up, including newly elected mayor Luke Cage. Kristen gives the eulogy. J. Jonah Jameson was also in attendance and says to Foggy Nelson he's surprised that Foggy didn't give it, and Foggy just feels he couldn't. Presumably because he knows the truth that it's not Matt, it's Mike. Butch shows up since he knows it's Mike, his best friend, and they're not Matt. But rather than Cage tries to stop him from paying his respects, and Butch is fine, whatever. But Butch talks to Foggy, kind of say, okay, Mike was pretending to be Matt, so where's Matt now? He knows something's going on, but he can't figure out what. Danny Rand and Luke Cage go to talk to the Daredevils, with Matt saying, "Yeah, Matt Murdock's gonna stay dead. I'm publicly speaking. We're going after the Hand." But there's a bank robbery in progress, so Cage, Danny, and the Daredevils go and stop it, but Thunderbolts show up with the mayor kind of thinking that something needs to be done about the Thunderbolts. Jessica Jones, meanwhile, goes to an orphanage where the last powered child of the Purple Man is, and seeing him with a power hammer collar on, pulls it off of him and seemingly adopts him. But Cage is trying to figure out what to do about the Thunderbolts. Thing is, it's going to take, a full city council thing to do it. So, yeah, it's not going to be just an easy sign. It's not going to be just like, okay, Thunderbolts are done. Sign the papers. He's not going to be able to pull out a piece of mayor's office stationery. Thunderbolts are done. Signed, Luke Cage. And it's done. No, he's got to get votes, and so. At the burial, which apparently no one went to, Kristen showed, except for Kristen. But before Mike is buried, she opens the casket and tells him that there was he explains that Mike was holding this rock. Well, Matt was holding this rock, and it must have been really important. So she wanted to make sure that he had it. She tosses the Nornstone, which is what he was going after, into his casket. We then get another story called Cleaning House. Luke Cage has decided he's got an idea what to do about the Thunderbolts. Can't just say they're no more, but maybe you should do something to change the image. And he's trying to recruit Monica Rambeau to be a part of that new image. So Monica and Cage go after a group of Thunderbolts, would include Crossbones, and the offer is made to Monica to lead the team. But no, she's not. That's not her. She ain't that person anymore. She wishes Cage luck and flies away, and the PR person that was with them and made the offer to lead the Thunderbolts suggests to Cage another possibility. Clint Barton, my favorite human train wreck of an adventure. Anyway, but there's another, some more about kind of catching up on what all's been going, how things have been going, and yeah, kind of looking back over Cage's entire life as he becomes as he featurifies as mayor. But he's still showing he's going to try to be a good man, do the hero bit. But like I said, it just there are two things about this that kind of irritate me. One is the fact that there wasn't a Devil's Reign Alpha. How can you have an Omega without an Alpha, right? Two, I find it to be an annoying habit for there to be the post-event one-shot. It's like, oh, hey, so just so you know, we're going to do these handful of books that follow up on plot threads from this event. So yeah, it's an annoying thing. It's like, just announce that the books are coming out. Maybe just a summary, say spinning out of the events of Devil's Reign, Thunderbolts. Quick summary. You don't need. We live in an age where in the internet age, you can find things. It's not hard to find solicits for a title, multiple months before it comes out. Marvel and DC don't need to do that. They don't need to put out that one shot of, oh, hey, here's what's going to happen. Here we're going to set everything up. So yeah, I'm willing to give Infinite Frontier a slight pass, at least when it comes to showing A-Day, because A-Day has informed multiple books. I still feel like it could have happened in, maybe it could have happened off panel. Though it still kind of, it was, but yeah, or, it could have happened the first post-Death Metal issue of Batman. But, and there were other things like, Darkseid wiping out the Quintessence. But still, and there ended up being the Infinite Frontier miniseries, so it gets a little bit of a pass because there was more. It wasn't just the one shot. It wasn't like, Dark Knight's Death Metal epilogue. No, it was its own thing and kind of set up where things were going with the DCU. And it had its own, direct follow-up. So, but anyway, overall, I enjoyed Devil's Reign. It was good. It was an interesting story. Good way of wrapping up the whole Mayor Kingpin story. I had to admit, for the entire time that the event was going on, I had to catch myself so many times. I caught myself so many times referring to it as Dark Reign instead of Devil's Reign. Dark Reign being an entirely different story from Marvel that involved villains in positions of power. Yeah. But anyway, that is going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Later on, for the rest of the week, we got ourselves another Building a Team, probably tomorrow or Friday. And then this weekend, of course, we got as always, the weekly comic book roundup. But links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.